What's up, guys? It's been a while since I've posted, but I feel like now is a good time to come at you for a new video because I've had a lot of time to think lately and I have some good things to share with you. Some things that I've learned in my own life and some lessons I've kind of been going through lately. I've been working a ton of hours at work lately and I just haven't had a whole lot of free time, but I think things are kind of returning to normal now, so I wanted to get back on track with videos and get back into it. So I don't really know what the title of this video is going to be, but what I really want to talk about are a couple good ideas. One of them being your weakest link is your best opportunity for growth. And then another one, I've actually done a separate video on this, but the negative habit pattern shows up in adversity. So I want you guys to ask yourself a question as we get into this video. When was the last time you experienced adversity? When was the last time that you were really, really uncomfortable? When was the last situation you've been in where you're really just questioning yourself, like thoughts are going through your head, what am I doing here? What kind of choices have I made to land myself in this position? And you really just find yourself going back to the drawing board and really just questioning kind of everything because you're almost in pain with the situation you're in, and you're really not enjoying yourself. So to give you guys kind of an example, what I just explained happened to me a couple weeks ago. I worked basically a 70-hour week, mostly running a jackhammer while we're remodeling a Dutch Brothers in Sunnyside, Washington. It's been a long, painful process, but I spent about almost 4 days just literally jackhammering hot concrete with rebar in it and wire mesh, and it was just the toughest concrete I've ever had to deal with. And I'm going to kind of explain what I mean by the negative habit pattern showing up in adversity. This is kind of the example I want to use. Well, I'm sitting there jackhammering concrete hour after hour. The days are long, the hours are slow. After the second day, I really just found myself getting into some really negative kind of thought patterns. My wrists are aching, my back's on fire, my shoulders are hurting. I gotta wear a mask the whole time because I'm trying to protect myself from concrete dust, so I'm not able to breathe oxygen properly. I feel almost claustrophobic because I'm in a small room packed with electricians and plumbers, and everybody's hustling, trying to get stuff done, and I'm trying to get my stuff done. But I just really caught myself kind of getting really critical and down on myself. And that's when I had kind of an aha moment. I realized that I had to remember, because I went to the drawing board after a while and just kind of questioned myself. I started to wonder, like, what choices have I made to get myself in this position? What mistakes did I make in life to make myself be jackhammering concrete for, 4 days straight? Why am I still doing labor type work? And so I really just kind of got down on myself and got negative. And that's, like I said, when I had this aha moment and I remembered that my mentor, Will, told me something powerful. He said that your negative habit pattern will show up in adversity. And what do I mean by the negative habit pattern? Well, each one of us basically has a background program running in our subconscious mind. You're not even aware of it. It's running in your subconscious mind, and it has a profound effect on the experiences you have. It has a profound effect on the life you're living. And so if you want to get further in life, if you want to go above and beyond, if you really want to be introspective and get down to the nitty gritty, you're going to at some point be encountered with your own negative habit pattern. Some people call this the dark night of the soul. Some people call this shadow work. There's a lot of different names that kind of tie into what I'm explaining. And I like to call it the negative habit pattern because it's negative, it's a habit, and it's a pattern. It's a subconscious pattern that is going on in the background. So what I really realized, and what was really uncomfortable about last week is, and I'm kind of being vulnerable here, is I realized that my self-worth, my self-image, my confidence, and my own perception of who I am is still very flawed. I still have a lot of work to do. I still have a long way to go before I can truly get to where I want to be. And it kind of stung because for a while here, I've been thinking, I'm this confident guy. I have a few things figured out. But the last 2 weeks of my life have been very humbling because I was in a situation that I really, really didn't enjoy. You guys might be thinking to yourselves, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. It really wasn't that big of a deal, but for some reason, on day 4 of jackhammering concrete, something just clicked in my mind, and I really just kind of went on a downward spiral mentally. I really just started getting down on myself. I started just really questioning everything because I really just started hating what I was doing. And I'm not trying to complain. I'm trying to use this example in my life to teach you guys a lesson and kind of show you the lesson that I learned. And now that I look back on it, I'm really thankful for this experience I just had because I really feel like I've gotten down to what my negative habit pattern is. And let me tell you what my negative habit pattern is. I kind of have some notes written out. And I don't really want to miss anything, so I'm gonna bust them out and go through. Creeping, low self-esteem, and poor image. Feeling unworthy, appreciated. Feeling unworthy, unappreciated. Feeling not good enough, I don't deserve it. And then letting my temper flare when I'm pushed too far. I experienced this whole spectrum that I just listed to you guys. I experienced this creeping low self-esteem and poor self-image. That kind of goes into where I was questioning what I'm doing, questioning why I'm in this experience in the first time. And like I've said in a lot of other videos, your life is just constantly feeding you lessons. The reality around you is really just consciousness, and it's constantly I don't even know how to explain it, but it's constantly giving you feedback and reflections that can help you learn more about your own mind and your own consciousness and your own being. And then the next one, I kept feeling unworthy and unappreciated. Like the people I'm working for, they pay me pretty well, they treat me well, but I wish these guys would give me more of a chance to do something different other than all this, grunt work. I've been doing a lot of grunt work lately, and that's kind of a hurdle I've been trying to get over is I just want to get out of using a shovel. I want to get out of doing these monotonous tasks that, someone a little bit less experienced than me could be doing. And maybe that, and honestly, I got to take responsibility for that too. It's my fault that I'm still doing labor work, and I got to take responsibility for it. So that's another uncomfortable truth I need to come to terms with. And then the next one is feeling not good enough. I started really getting down on myself because I've talked about this before, but comparison is the death of joy. You go on the internet, you go on social media, pretty much the only people that are posting on TikTok, the only people that are posting on like Facebook or whatever, are people that are having very positive experiences. You don't see people posting about negative experiences. You don't see people posting about struggles they're having. The problem with I have a social media is it's literally everyone's highlight reel, where it's people like stay-at-home moms. My wife watches a lot of stay-at-home moms, and all of these stay-at-home moms are in $1 million houses, and they're just so rich and wealthy, and I'm glad that they're living in abundance, but people like my wife watch that type of stuff and sometimes fall in the trap of comparing themselves to those people who are worth tens of millions of dollars, just living in these absolute mansion and just have they have all the baby goodies and stuff, and it's a slippery slope when you start to compare yourself to others. And I know I kind of rambled there, but let's get on to the next one. And then I kind of let my temper flare when I was pushed too far. I started getting snippy with other people. I started getting angry. I started kind of throwing my tools around because I felt kind of stuck. Honestly, I didn't want to be jackhammering concrete. I hated the job we were on. We were working like 13, 14-hour days, and I don't know why, but I just started getting a bit of a temper. I noticed this anger and this fire building inside myself. And that kind of relates to what I was saying earlier, is me thinking I have a thing or two figured out, but then this last week humbled me. I thought I had my temper conquered. I thought I had conquered my anger. But for me, it's not conquered. It's just I have more of a threshold where I need to be pushed in order for my temper to engage. And in my childhood, I was raised around a lot of anger. All of the men in my life had extremely bad tempers, and there was just a lot of anger and negativity in the environment I was in when I was little. And I think that affected me, but at the same time, I'm not trying to have a victim mentality here. I got to take responsibility for my own emotions and how I'm feeling. And that kind of gets back to this whole Buddhist idea where you don't have to attach to these feelings you're feeling. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with my own meditation. I like to meditate at work. I like to just kind of notice these thoughts I'm having and not necessarily attach to them. So when I was jackhammering the concrete, I basically noticed as an objective observer that I was having these feelings of not being worthy. I was having these feelings of, not being good enough, because if I was good enough, then why would I be jackhammering concrete? Why wouldn't I be doing finished carpentry? Why wouldn't I be doing tile or something, cooler? And it all comes down to perspective. It all comes down to perception. And what I really learned in the last 2 weeks is, number one, my perception is very flawed, especially my perception of myself. And number two, I still have a lot of internal work to do. And so does everyone else. And that's really the reason why I make these videos, because you and I have a lot more in common than you think we do. Everyone you meet, you have more in common than you think you do. And it would surprise you if you actually sat down with a random person or some people in your life that you think you have nothing in common with. It would surprise you if you sat down and actually listened to some of these people, because we all have more in common than we have not in common, if that makes any sense. And so that's another thing I kind of want to leave you guys with in this video. I hope you guys hearing about this experience I've had kind of helps you guys, because this video is mostly for me to kind of get my thoughts out there and for me to rewatch this video and kind of gain more and more lessons from what I'm speaking. But let's get back to what I said at the beginning. Your weakest link is your best opportunity for growth. So what did I notice in the last 2 weeks? I noticed my weak link. What is my weak link? Let's get back to it. Creeping low self-image, feeling unworthy, unappreciated, feeling not good enough, I don't deserve it, and then letting my temper flare. These are all things that are weak links for me. These are things that I need to work on. And I'm going to use the gym as an analogy. My upper body grows easily. I have a good chest, I have good arms, I have good traps and shoulders and all that, but my legs are very skinny. And so what do I do when I work out? I focus on my legs more than I focus on my upper body, because for me, upper body comes easy, so I don't focus on it as much. I spend most of my time in the gym doing squats and deadlifts, because I'm using the weak link in my body to become stronger all over. Because I've noticed that if I train my legs, if I train my glutes, if I train my core and my lower body, everything else just seems to follow. And I kind of want you guys to think about that analogy I just did. If you train your weak link, if you get rid of your negative habit pattern, and I shouldn't have said get rid of it, because it's never going to be gone. It's you becoming more and more aware of it and peeling back the layers of the onion and just becoming aware of your triggers, your own triggers, and becoming aware of your own traumas, and becoming aware of your buried low self-esteem and your buried tendencies to self-sabotage. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you have just struggled with depression or substance use or any of these negative habit patterns, for lack of a better term. Let me know what you have struggled with. If you feel like being vulnerable, if you feel like having a discussion, I'm always here to talk. I always have an open, objective ear. I'm never going to judge anyone. And I just want you guys to know that this channel is a space where you can discuss with other people that have open minds. And that's what it's about. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great night. I'm going to sign out for now. Goodbye.